Shalom, family. This video is in response to a question that I had on a previous video in which I was talking about, the black pastors and, some of the Hebrew Israelite leaders or teachers or whatever they may be, that are actually directing people on not buying land and doing anything to help yourself. That's the way I see it. Don't do nothing to help yourself, because this is our punishment, and just deal with it, right? Don't do nothing to help yourself. Just lay down and die. That's what I get from their message. But anyway, this video is in response to a question that was put on that particular video, in which someone asked, what about the scripture in Matthew where it talks about not laying up for yourselves treasures on this earth? Now, that could be a valid concern of someone as to whether or not buying land would fall under that. But I just want to bring some clarification, a bit of clarification. Just as I stated in the video, in which I believe that some things we should just know automatically. If we are alive on this earth, we are living somewhere. And just to add to that question, another person had a question about why buy land if there's a chance the government is going to take your land. And so I want to redirect my question back to the parties who asked these questions. Since we're alive on this earth and we have to live and breathe and occupy some space somewhere on this earth, what would you suggest that we do if we don't buy land, or if we don't do anything to help ourselves? Okay, because at the end of the day, you are still alive. And so whether you are living on your own land or occupying someone else's space, you have to be someplace, and 9 times out of 10 you have to pay to be there. You have to pay something, whether it's rent or whether it's a mortgage or a lease or something like that. You have to pay to be someplace. Okay, I don't recall hearing the statistics saying that the majority of black people live in homeless shelters. So you're either renting someplace or you're leasing someplace, and even if you're living with someone else, that person no doubt is obligated in some kind of way, whether it's through mortgage, rent payments, or tax payments or something. If they sought to purchase, I can't say you own it if you have a mortgage or taxes. And we did a lesson on tax exemption when you're buying property, and that's a whole other video. I'm not going to get into that now. Learning how to own your property tax exempt. That's something totally different conversation to enter into. But I'm trying to get our people to see that we can't be fatalistic in our thinking. You can't be fatalistic in your thinking, saying that we shouldn't buy land because it might be taken, or we shouldn't, especially if you have a mortgage, because if you have a mortgage, that could be taken too by the bank. You see, I mean, there are so many what ifs out there, and I know this may not be the answer that you all are looking for, because our people we like soft answers. Speak to me softly, speak to me so nice, because I'm too delicate to hear the hardcore truth. We've got to grow past that, family. Real life is happening right now. We are surrounded by snakes and devils in this world. Okay, people who could care less if you live or die, and all of this softness that we have as it relates to our being on this planet, we've got to get rid of that. Our people are in desperate need. Okay, and as long as we have this fatalistic attitude about things, we're always going to be the tail and not the head, because we are not rising to the power and authority that Yah has given us. In no way am I saying to lay up treasures on this earth. First of all, I don't believe it's considered laying up treasure if I buy land. You see, laying up treasures on this earth is when, I would say, what Oprah Winfrey is doing. But if someone buys a piece of land and they have livestock to where they have to shovel the manure of the livestock and rake leaves and cut down trees and stuff. That is not a person who's laying up treasure. This is a person saying, look, I got to occupy some space. I have to live somewhere. So I'd rather live in a place where I don't have to pay a mortgage, or I don't have to pay rent, or I don't have to pay a lease. And even with taxes, come on now, family. Come on now. Don't try to make it seem like it's the same. Well, you'll never own it because you pay taxes. Now, that is true in a sense, but there are ways to where you can get tax exemption if you know what to do. Knowledge is power, family. We should gain knowledge and understanding of things, and not always be so fatalistic, because the same people who are saying not to buy land or anything like that, these people work for the slave master. Okay? They work in their institutions, and if you're not working, how are you being taken care of? If you're not a millionaire with money falling out of your ears, then someone is taking care of you, even if it's yourself. Even if you're working a job somewhere, you are working for the man, and that is your means of taking care of yourself. So we should not folly around and look down on one another, saying that because this person is doing ABC or XYZ, they don't know what the scripture says. A lot of our people are starting to say things such as we shouldn't do anything in Babylon. But yet these same people go punching clocks, riding around in cars made by the Babylonian system, riding buses or trains or airplanes or whatever. Even those of you who say we need to flee Babylon and go where? Go to Israel? It's not time for us to go to Israel yet. Go to Egypt? Why? Do you think you're not going to have to deal with these people when you go over there? I think our appeal to one another should be to do the best that we can to help one another, to help improve one another. And this is why I do the things that I do, because I want to inform my people, those that are listening, because many do listen, and I thank Abiyah for those who do listen and take heed. Many of you have contacted me over the years and said, because of the videos that I've put up, you've decided to start a garden. And that brings joy to my heart to hear that my videos have helped some people to see a brighter side of things, instead of being fatalistic and saying, why don't you just go to the grocery store? Or why go through all that? Just go to the grocery store. Instead of looking at it in that way, you said, well, you know what? I want to grow my own food. I am encouraged by the videos this sister has put up, and so therefore I'm going to do this. And many of you have the reports, and I love to hear these, the reports of the feeling that comes over you when you go out in your yard or on your land and you pick your own food that you have grown with your own hands. When you can appreciate that, then you have gotten the big picture. You've heard the truth, and you've applied it to your life, and you've acted upon it. But when you see others growing food and you think it's a waste of time, then I've got to question your sanity. I've got to question your sanity. Not all of us can afford to move to another country, you see, and not all of us are going to sit around and wait, especially when the scripture says, occupy until I come, build houses, plant gardens. All of us are not going to sit around and wait until we're whisked away, from this earth, or raptured away to some other place. I mean, is that what you're telling us to do? In the meantime, you have hungry children waiting for you, okay? So here's the gentle answer for the person who had the question about laying up treasures on this earth. Okay, I don't want you to think that I'm coming at you in any kind of way that is not nice, because there were other people who had questions as well, and other people who had concerns or comments as to what it is we should be doing. But here's the gentle answer for you. When you're buying land or a house, or if you need a vehicle to get back and forth to work, or if you need clothes on your back until, until whatever, anything that you need for your person to take care of yourself, that is not a treasure. Okay? It's not a treasure to try to have a place to live, whether it's land or a house. Okay? When you think of a person that's laying up treasures on this earth, I would consider someone more like these celebrities who have these mega mansions in 10 different locations and fleets of vehicles in 10 different locations and all this other stuff. Now there are smaller scales of laying up treasures on this earth too, okay? But this right here certainly isn't one of them. This is just me, my family, and others who have decided that, many others, I mean, a lot of people own land, okay? We have just decided that we just want to live a simple life, and we want to grow our own food and do things for ourselves and become as self-sufficient as possible. That's all this is. This is not a treasure. You see, if the Most High wanted to take me away today to be in our own land, I would be very happy. But see, it's not time for that yet. Right now our land is being trodden down by Gentiles over there in Israel. And so we are not going over there. The scripture told us that it would be trodden down by Gentiles for a time. And so I just don't believe that it's time for us to be there. There's war written. There's all kinds of crazy nonsense going on. And also, to go over there, you have to enlist your children in the Israeli army. Show me that in Bible prophecy, where the Most High said we were to go over there on our own accord, and our children had to join a wicked army. That is nowhere in prophecy that we should be doing that. And so, family, just understand that when we go about doing certain things, we are doing what we believe the Most High has wanted us to do. And the scripture did say, delight thyself in Yah, He will give you the desires of your heart. And this is one of the desires of our heart. We wanted to own enough land to where we can do some of the things that we wanted to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. And guess what? This is not an American dream for us. It has nothing to do with any of that. I don't believe in no American dream, because the American dream is a lie. It's something that does not exist. Okay? This is our way of being set apart, going about on a different path. You know, leaving out from the cities and things of that nature. So, don't be confused by someone deciding to do this or encouraging others to do it. This is not a ploy to lay up treasures. This is not us leading people astray, because not everyone is going to go in this direction. We're not leading anyone astray, asking them or suggesting to them that buying land is a good idea. And if you think that's an act of leading someone astray, then I really don't know what to say for that kind of thinking. But I can't entertain it in any real sense of the word other than to rebuke it, okay? Because I think this is what our people need to be doing for more reasons than one. Even if it's just to have a peaceful, quiet place to go to. If that was the only reason, that's reason enough, okay? Well, I think I'm done with this, and I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. And I want to say shalom to you, family.